Lately, I've given a great deal of consideration to how to get off the planet. Due to obvious physical constraints, including the lack of a spacefaring vessel capable of faster-than-light speeds, my thoughts started to center around ways we can experience travel in general, and deep space travel in particular, without the need to involve our actual bodies. What if we could digitize consciousness? If we were able to do that, we could download and conceivably transfer that consciousness over incredible distances. What if we could sense and interpret reality without the physical interface of the human brain, but with interchangeable interfaces capable of experiencing a greater degree of reality than what we are able to naturally? Digitizing the consciousness is no small feat. First, we have to gain a definitive understanding of exactly what human consciousness is. It's not enough to digitize a brain. Despite the magnificence of its engineering, the brain has been shown to merely be a storage and processing device. When someone is classified as medically brain dead, machines are capable of managing the function of the organs, for a time at least. But those machines are not simulating or supporting full consciousness. So what is my rudimentary explanation of consciousness? It allows us to experience an aspect of reality using the brain as the interface between the body and the consciousness. Is the consciousness energy? Well, electrical impulses certainly convey information from the world to the brain for analysis and interpretation. For example, as photons enter our optic nerves, they are converted to electrical energy, thereby providing us with the ability to experience the visible portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. But reality is data dense. Our brains are endowed with incredible abilities to make some sense of this data. There are approximately 1 billion neurons in the human brain. Every single neuron has about 1,000 connections to other neurons. All told, this amounts to around 1 trillion links. If each neuron could only help store a single memory, running out of space would be a problem we'd encounter rather quickly. In that case, your brain would only have a few gigabytes of storage space, a thumb drive's worth. However, all those neurons can and do process multiple memories simultaneously. This increases the memory storage capability of the brain exponentially. That arrangement increases the brain's memory storage capacity to the range of 2.5 petabytes or 1,000,000 gigabytes. For comparison, if your brain worked like a digital video recorder, 2.5 petabytes would be enough to hold 3 million hours of streaming video. You'd have to leave Netflix running constantly for just over 3 centuries to use up all of that storage space. Then there's processing speed. The fastest computer on Earth right now is China's Tianhe-2, which boasts a max processing speed of 54.9 petaflops. A petaflop is a quadrillion, 1,000 trillion calculations per second. But that staggering speed doesn't hold a candle to our brains. It is theorized that the human brain's maximum processing speed is 1 exaflop, or 1 billion calculations per second. If we could harness the consciousness using those speeds and that processing power, and then engineer the capability to store and then transfer it via laser, we'd not only rewrite the entire notion of human exploration and travel, we very well may also give ourselves the ability to one day experience higher levels of consciousness. For example, our bodies may have never developed the ability to visualize the X-ray portion of the electromagnetic spectrum simply because our brains lack the amount of processing capacity needed to take in that data and then have it efficiently interpreted by the consciousness. Put another way, we'd probably experience a far greater degree of reality if we possessed more storage capacity and processing speed. If that capacity doubled every 2 years, consistent with Moore's law, then visiting other realities, even other dimensions, would one day become a possibility. We'd conceivably experience more and more of reality with every upgrade in storage capacity and processing speed of any artificial consciousness interface. If and when we're able to condense consciousness into a coherent collection of ones and zeros, then the possibilities really open up. Imagine a digital copy of your consciousness that could be taken anywhere on a portable drive. Consider the ability to forward that consciousness as a stream of data astride a laser beam. Consider a seed chip that places amplifiers every half parsec along the route to Proxima B. These devices would eliminate attenuation or loss of signal and would repeatedly reconstitute the coherence of the laser containing an encoded consciousness. Once that seed chip lands on Proxima, it would release dozens of probes that would remain dormant until animated by a consciousness. The probes, packed with all kinds of sensors that the human body doesn't include, would act as the reality interface for a downloaded consciousness. The seed chip project is one that could predate the digitized consciousness technology and allow the latter to catch up. In so doing, the encoded laser would be able to be tested immediately upon completion. Granted, other technologies would need to be introduced, such as an electromagnetic drive that could reduce the time it would take to get to the Proxima star system, which is 4 light years away, from 63,000 years with conventional propulsion to 100 years with an electromagnetic drive. Once higher processing speeds are achieved, a fringe benefit of digitized consciousness could be traveled through time as well as space. Daniela Fascio, a physicist at Heriot-Watt University in Scotland, has shown that light can travel backwards in time. A laser, coherent light, containing an encoded consciousness should be capable of what Fascio has shown. This is another reason why construction of consciousness interfaces should be developed immediately, so that future physicists will have something to send light back through time to. Another advantage could be, if not immortality, an extremely long duration existence. In addition to what we've already discussed, it could be argued that the human brain focuses the consciousness, preventing its energy from being disambiguated among the cosmic background radiation. Digitizing consciousness would give us the ability to endow artificial objects with
sentience.
However, someday we may not need an interface at all to exist as coherent consciousness. We may not need technology or biology to experience reality. In 1995, NASA scientists affiliated with the Kuiper Airborne Observatory noticed naturally occurring, highly focused UV light emanating from stars. Hitching a ride on one of these natural lasers or on a beam of a gamma ray burst could allow our consciousness to explore creation in ways most cannot now easily imagine.